Hey everyone, good morning. Happy Monday. James Azar here with the CyberHub podcast for your daily practitioner brief for Monday, June 29th, 2020. You can get our practitioner brief in PDF format in your inbox each and every single day, Monday through Thursday, by going to cyberhubpodcast.com. Go to our practitioner brief, sign up there, and you'll be able to get it directly in your inbox. You can share it with your team. It's an easy PDF, and it'll have everything we talk about on this podcast. The aim of this podcast is to be under 5 minutes, so let's get right into what's happening today. Attackers are targeting vulnerable Exchange servers. Microsoft is warning its customers that attackers are increasingly targeting unpatched Microsoft Exchange servers with a significant uptick in activity since April. In February of this year, Microsoft did issue a patch for a vulnerability tracked as CVE 2020-0688, which, if exploited, could allow attackers to perform a remote code execution and take over an infected device. This flaw affects numerous versions of Microsoft Exchange servers dating back to 2020. Microsoft is urging organizations to promptly patch their systems, leave antivirus protection enabled on their Exchange servers. They've seen a lot of uptick on that. Adobe, Mastercard, and Visa are warning online store owners of Magento 1.x, all the 1.x versions for end of life. Visa and Mastercard payment processors, along with Adobe, have tried last-ditch efforts this month to get online store owners to update their platforms. Last week, we reported that the latest and last security update by Adobe for Magento, as Magento is essentially at end of life tomorrow, June 30th. There's around 110,000 stores online still running Magento 1.x versions. Visa, Mastercard, Adobe, and others are urging those store owners to immediately update their version to a Magento 2.0 in order to avoid having those security exploits that exist within the 1.0 version of Magento. In almost 300 Windows 10 executable vulnerables to Dll Hijacking. A simple VB script may be enough to allow users to gain admin privileges and bypass UAC entirely on Windows 10. In a new report from a PwC UK security researcher, Witsi Bukima, we learned that almost 300 Windows 10 executables are vulnerable to Dll hijacking. It turns out Bukima tweeted that it turns out that nearly 300 executables in your system 32 folders are vulnerable to relative path Dll hijacking. And did you know that with a simple VB script, some of these EXEs can be used to elevate such executions, bypassing UAC entirely? The vulnerability referred to here is relative path Dll hijacking, which is when an attacker can use a legitimate Windows executable to load an arbitrary DLL of the attacker's choice, most likely with malicious intent. Dll hijacking attacks can prove useful to a skilled attacker as they grant capabilities such as arbitrary code execution, privilege escalation, and persistence on the target system. There are several workarounds and different ways to deal with these specific vulnerabilities, all available on our PDF at cyberhubpodcast.com. There are a bunch of different strategies in terms of monitoring instances of DLL creation and loading from unexpected file path. You could hunt for the creation or loading of any DLLs mentioned before from an unexpected path, particularly in temp locations such as app data. The name of the legitimate application loading the DLL can be changed, but the file name of DLLs are always fixed, is one thing that Bukima explains and suggests. Developers should also enforce using absolute and not relative path for loading DLLs, among several other techniques highlighted in our PDF. That's it for our practitioner brief here today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Get our PDF, share this with your colleagues at work and with your clients who care about security. It's an easy way to stay in touch with everything going on. That's it for us here today. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, folks, my name is James Azar, wishing you all to stay cyber safe.